How you doing? Welcome back. My name's Rick. This is Winder's Ranger. I mentioned these back a while ago, I think. I don't remember exactly what the context was I was talking about or where this came up. But these are some old binoculars. I guess they're antiques by now. They were given to me by my father, and I'm not real sure where he got them from. It seems to me he told me an uncle of his had given them to him, but I don't really know for sure. But they're Bausch and Lomb, I think I'm saying that right, Bausch and Lomb 7x50 model 28, I think, binoculars. And they're dated 1943 on the side here. I'll show you a little closer up here in a minute. From what I can gather, I'm trying to find some information on them so I knew what I was talking about when I made a video about them. The 1943 date sounds like that's more of a design date, or when they were, I guess when they designed or made this particular design, not necessarily the manufacturing date of this particular pair of binoculars. It sounds like the manufacturing dates were between 1944 and 1945, I think they said. Apparently, the first run of these, or the original run of these, from what I gather, weren't coated. And if you see on the top here, right up in here, how the coating is worn off. Unfortunately, these aren't in the best of shape. I wish they were in better shape than they are. But I'm assuming that's what they're talking about when they say the original pair weren't coated, or the original run. So they're probably, whether this is original or not, but underneath of there is like a black paint. And then that, of course, is rubbed off over the years. So I assume that faux-looking leather, it's probably a rubber coating, was put on when the original run were refurbished and probably put back into service. It sounds like, from what I read, this particular model of binoculars were in service in some cases all the way up into the early 1980s. So I know some of my family lineage goes back to during World War II. Some were working in shipyards on Liberty ships, and I believe there were some actually serving on Liberty ships, I believe, or maybe in the Merchant Marines. I'm not sure if they were one and the same or not, but that may be where these came from. I don't know. I don't know. But whoever had them, somebody tried to scratch off it looks like the serial number, but they didn't do a very good job at that. It looks like they scratched off more like the model number and things like that. But anyway, you can go on eBay now and you can find binoculars like these anywhere from $200 down to, I think I've seen them as low as $50 or $60. So when I was growing up, I was using these binoculars. We would go on vacations, go out to places like Yellowstone, Grand Canyon, Grand Teton National Park, Great Smoky Mountains, places like that. And these were the binoculars that went with us. Seemed like as a kid I was always the one looking through the binoculars, but over the years various things have been taken off of them, and I think I'm largely responsible for that. The eyepieces that went on the back, one of those was broken and it wouldn't stay on, so I ended up taking them both off because it was difficult to look through them with one, because they would stick off the back of the eye cups there, the back of the eyepieces, by like a half an inch or so, quarter of an inch maybe. So I ended up taking both of those off, and I guess you'd say the bezels on the front up here, one of those is broken, and somebody had gone back and used electrical tape, which was, I mean, looking at them you wouldn't be able to tell. They're just a little bit out of focus the way they're sitting right now. But I'm going to do a search on eBay and see if I can find replacement parts. Preferably like new old stock would be what I'm looking for. I don't know if I can find it or not. See if I can replace those eyepieces and the two front bezels. I think I can get the eyepieces. I don't know about the bezels up front. At least to get them back into a functional original state. I can't do anything about the coating or anything like that. I've also got the original case, which is missing the strap. I'll show you those here in a minute, but let me bring these in for a little bit closer look, and I'll show you the stamps on the back, and maybe flip them over or something so you give you a little better look at them. Okay, this is the back where of course you would look through this end of them. The two eye cups, I call them eye cups, the eye pieces, I guess, this side and this side, they adjust individually, and they both have a graduation scale on the bottom here that you can see. The reference of those numbers, I don't know enough about them to be able to sound like I know what I'm talking about there, other than the fact that the numbers exist. But you can adjust each one of these independent of the other one. So you can see the 1943 and the Bausch and Lomb, and the where the company was located at that time. The centerpiece, the center hinge, also has a graduation scale on it. I don't really know why you would need to know that, unless you know, if say you're on watch on a ship or something, and you pick up the glasses after somebody else has been using them, and you know that where the hinge needs to be to fit your eyes, you can go directly to that instead of fiddle farting around trying to get them to fit the width of your eyes as opposed to somebody else. Maybe I don't know why else you would need that, other than just pick them up and adjust them until they work. But now that we got the focus set a little bit, you can see that is it 7 by 50 or 7 by 60? I think it's 7 by 60 down here in the corner. It also has brass screws, set screws all the way around, so I would imagine that they probably would come apart pretty easy for cleaning and stuff like that. With my skill set, I'm not going to dare take them apart. There may be a video out there of somebody doing that, but these are in pretty good shape. None of the lenses are cracked or broken. There's a scuff on one of the lenses on the other side. I'll flip them over in a minute, but I tried to clean them just now with a microfiber cloth, and that scuff is in there, so I couldn't get it out. It may be something, if I was to send them out, somebody might be able to buff that out of them. I'm not sure, but you can't see it. It doesn't affect, at least I can't see it looking through the lenses, so I don't know that I would want to send something like this out and then get it back, and either get back a pair that aren't the ones that I sent out and they're in worse shape than the ones I sent, or get it back and now they're broken or missing something else or whatever. But let me flip them over to the other end so you can see that. Okay, so here we got them flipped around the other way, and you can kind of see a little bit better here how this coating has rubbed off over the years. And it could even be somebody has come behind after this is rubbed off and put that paint up inside there. That could be the original paint from when they were manufactured and then recoated. I really don't know for sure. But the eye cup, or the front lens that's cracked, is this side over here. It's got this bezel here is cracked, and somebody put tape around it. I don't really care for that much, but unless I can find a replacement piece for this, I don't want to lose the one that's there, so I'm going to just leave it as it is for now. And the other side, I think the other one was the one, the left side, at least left side looking at it, I think this was the one that had the scuff in the lens. I can't see it right now the way it's sitting, but yeah, anyway, the bezel on this one is in pretty decent shape, other than it's a little beat up, just from over the years. But let me turn them over on their back, or on the top, I guess. I'll show you the underside of them here. Now this is with them flipped over. I'm also missing the neck strap there. I think, if I remember correctly, when I was little, I think we still had the strap. It was thin, relatively thin, maybe like a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch wide leather strap that went around. I don't know if maybe it broke or exactly why that came off, but at some point that was taken off. I don't remember if I did that or what happened there, but you can see the graduation scales for the two eyepieces there, and how they can adjust individually. You can see that they work nice and smooth, so they don't feel gritty or dirty or anything. the original, again, I'll call them eye cups, eyepieces, I don't know, threaded onto these two pieces here. So now when I use them, you kind of almost have to tilt them or hold them a little bit away from your eyes so you keep from getting your skin oil and stuff on the actual lenses themselves. And I have to adjust the camera so we can see the bottoms of the front bezels there. No, it's just the back of the two front bezels. This one is the one that was broken. Now they're just flipped up and turned. You can see how the electrical tape there is kind of flapping in the breeze. A little scuffed up and whatnot. But one of the other things that I read about this particular pair of binoculars, not this particular pair as in the ones that I have, but this model brand, is that they were supposed to have been sealed a little bit better than maybe it was the refurbished version of this, as opposed to the original model was supposed to be sealed a little bit better, I guess, for the Navy's use out on the ships and whatnot, you know, due to the salt water and the sea air and stuff to keep it out of the binoculars. Looking through them, they've got a pretty good picture, a pretty good viewing optics going through them. They're a little bit on the dirty side, but I think a lot of that is the exterior of the lenses themselves. I was watching a video talking about camera lenses and how over the years they'll eventually get dirty inside, maybe even get some mold and things. I would imagine binoculars wouldn't be too much different than that, but these don't look bad. Maybe it's because they're sealed for the Navy's use. I don't know if it makes any difference. But they've got a nice picture. They see that you can see through them pretty well. So, and I thought I read something about these were like a low light, or they had the ability for low light viewing, so which would make sense, being if they were used in the Navy. So, let me swap these out, and I'll bring the case over here, and I'll show you what the case looks like. All right, that's the case. It's a pretty thick, heavy, probably a rubber. A heavy, like a heavy rubber, I guess. I don't know. It's not a plastic, or it doesn't feel like it's a plastic. It's more pliable. I don't know that it may have been replaced during if these were one of the refurbished pairs. I've seen some of these online, and some of them have a Bausch and Lomb logo on the case, on the exterior of the case. This particular case doesn't have that. The only logo that I could find was on the bottom here, and see if we can get the camera on that one, focus on that, and I can't quite make out what it says. Hood B4, so it's got B4 underneath of it. I don't know, it's got a nice brass finial, I guess we'll say, for attaching the strap there. This piece here would goes in conjunction with the two sides for a shoulder strap for either side, you know, to go around the side there to hold it, you know, carry the case. It's got a carrying handle up on the top and a belt loop on the back that's also got rivets on it. So it's a nice sturdy case for what it is. Inside, it's a little dirty. It could use to be cleaned, but it's got a little pouch here in the top. I would imagine it's probably either for replacement eye cups or maybe like a cleaning cloth or something like that. I don't guess that they had microfiber back in those days, but inside of the case it's got some like probably a mildew or something in there. You can see that white stuff kind of on the walls. So actually I just found this. I had it put away, and I had mentioned, it might have been a live stream on somebody else's channel, the Rain Dance Bushcraft. We were talking about binoculars in the comments one night, and I mentioned that I had a pair of these, and he said, you know, he would be interested in watching a video if I showcased them. So that might have been the reference to this. I don't remember now, but I couldn't remember what I had done with them. And I was just moving some things around, and I opened a cupboard, and there they were. So I thought, well, I'm running out of video content right now, so haven't been over to Disney or anything here recently, so I thought, well, maybe I'll just shoot a quick video on these. and pulled them out. So here you go. If I can get the replacement parts and get these back into a closer to original condition, I may showcase them again, or maybe just put an Instagram picture up or something like that. But anyway, that's the Bausch and Lomb, and I'm just looking at them here. They are 7x50. See if we can get that to focus. Yeah, 7x50 there on the stamp. So that's the Bausch and Lomb 7x50 from Rochester, New York. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit that thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. It helps gauge the content of my videos and what's working and what's not. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button. That'll keep you up to date on future videos that I put out. And until next time, take care of yourself, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.